Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Mikell in for Fran Stoddard. It is Fair and Field Day season, which of course is a favorite summer pastime for Vermonters and visitors alike. You'll find entertainment and family fun from animals, rides, agricultural exhibits, food, and more. Franklin County Field Days came to a close yesterday, but the State Fair in Rutland and the state's biggest fair, the Champlain Valley Fair, are still ahead, along with fairs in Caledonia, Orleans, and the finale in September, the Tunbridge World's Fair. But our focus today is Addison County Fair and Field Days. The fairgrounds open tomorrow morning, run for 5 days, ending with a fireworks celebration on Saturday night. The 5 days and nights are filled with events and activities that live up to the fair's billing as the state's largest agricultural fair. And to learn more about what's coming up, we're joined by a member of the Field Days Board of Directors. Vice President Benj Deppman joins us via Zoom this afternoon. Good afternoon, and thanks for being with us, Benj.
Good afternoon, Will. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, absolutely. You and others, we know a lot of work has gone on to get ready for the next 5 days. Give us a little clue. What's been happening, and what do you want folks to know about this year's version of the Addison County Fair and Field Days?
Well, the business manager, Kara Mosier, and a grounds manager, Leonard Barrett, have been hard at work all year long, actually, keeping the fair running and making sure we're on track for the fair. And the directors have been organizing as well, and all the vendors and concessionaires and exhibitors are setting up their booths and are excited for tomorrow. It's going to be a great week.
It always is, and the kickoff, you have some special events. I know that as part of the kickoff, there's a parade, I think, to get things started, and as I've already mentioned, to close it out on Saturday, you have the fireworks celebration.
The parade is Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. We used to have it at 8 p.m., but we've moved it to an earlier time because the demolition derby starts Tuesday evenings now, which is a change. It used to be on Wednesdays. It's now Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we've got the motocross on the tractor pad on Thursday evening, and then we've got tractor and truck pulling all day Friday and evening and all day on Saturday as well. It's going to be a busy week.
And you have a bunch of events. I want to ask specifically about some of the events for kids and families.
Sure.
I know you have a dedicated activity area. You have a daily free event called Digging for Treasure, as an example. What's that and some of these other events for kids and families all about?
So in the children's barnyard area, of course, we have all of the animals that you would expect that you can view, and some you can pet, some you can actually learn about and enjoy. There's sometimes babies, newborns that were just born. But outside of the barnyard area, we also have an area where you can learn to walk on stilts. You can play some games. There's a daily treasure hunt, as you mentioned, which is this area full of sawdust. We hide some money in there, and kids they get a little covered in sawdust. It's an entertaining time.
Well, I can only imagine. I'd need the sawdust for my stilts walking for all the number of times I'd be falling down.
That is where the stilts are, right in the sawdust.
Well, we know that fairs and field days across Vermont and the Northeast have their roots in agriculture. How is agriculture part of today's fair and field days?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar. Of course, you're familiar with the breakfast on the farm. I think field days is another element of being able to educate people that might not otherwise know as much about their connection with food and dairy and where the products come from. So we've got a lot of animals that are exhibited. We've got a lot of people that are there to educate people that have questions. So, you may come for the fair food and you may come for the rides, but you end up spending time walking through the barns and seeing ox pulling, horse pulling, pony pulling, or various different dairy and horse shows. I mean, it's an entertaining week for sure.
And as you pointed out a moment ago, you're getting to see, potentially even touch young animals, things that some portions of our population don't have a chance to do. This is really important in our connections to our land and our food.
Absolutely. Of course, a lot of the exhibitors that are there are 4-H members, so they know a lot that they've learned through the 4-H process. And of course, they've learned a lot from growing up on their farms, but they have a lot of, even the kids have a lot of information to share with other kids and with adults. So it's a really interesting time to interact with the farming community.
Well, of course, all across the state, those 4-Hers that Benj has just referred to, they've devoted time and energy to get ready for their local fair. As we see on Across the Fence all the time, 4-H is hands-on learning. It teaches responsibility and many other life skills. I'm going to take a moment to see and hear about 4-H at Addison County Fair and Field Days.
The Fair Week for the 4-Hers is like the culmination of their project areas. They enter them at the fair and they bring them in and exhibit them, be it horse, livestock, crafts, vegetables, flowers, baked goods. It's a big, exciting week for them.
So what are some of the exhibits that these kids have been working on?
Okay, so behind us today we have the horse show, and then during the week we have a 4-H dairy show, a 4-H beef show, working steers, sheep, goats, rabbits, poultry, and then we have our youth hall that's open all week that has everything from club exhibits to crafts, photography, posters, educational exhibits, and anything else miscellaneous that the kids have worked on and want to proudly show off.
Have they been working on this all year?
Yes, especially the livestock projects. They can't just bring them to the fair because they have to train them, as well as the crafts. A lot of the clubs in the wintertime work on crafts, get them developed. It's a slow time that time of year, so they work on their crafts and sewing as well, and then get to exhibit them here.
What are some of the responsibilities and opportunities for the 4-Hers here at the fair?
Well, the foundation is a huge part of our county 4-H. They fund all of the ribbons and awards that are given out. So they have the Dusty Chuck, which is the foundation's food booth, and every 4-H member 10 and up does a shift in the food booth. It's a 4-hour shift throughout the week, and they come interact with the customers. They help prepare food, so they learn food safety. For the Clover Buds, 5 to 8, and 8 and 9-year-olds, they get to do a shift up in the youth hall where they get to talk to the people coming through, explain what 4-H is, pass out 4-H balloons, and just interact and get more comfortable talking to people.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing here at the Dusty Chuck. What are your responsibilities?
Each 4-Her has to have a time in the Dusty Chuck, so we work a 4-hour shift at some point in the fair, and you kind of just hang out with 3 or 4 of your 4-H friends and make milkshakes, make French fries, sandwiches, all sorts of fun stuff, and just it's kind of like a community thing. And
do you like seeing all the people come through?
it's definitely interesting, and you do see people over the years, oh, I remember you from last year, and you got the same chocolate milkshake that you got last year. So it's just cool to see the people.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing and exhibiting here at the fair, besides working at the Dusty Chuck.
Since I'm in a dairy club, I have 3 of my own show cows here, and we show and exhibit them, and then we also do a showmanship class, which is on our skills and how we show our own cows to make them look the best that they can.
What do you most look forward to about coming to the fair every year?
It's nice. This is my favorite week of the fair. The entire year is just I look forward to this because you get to come and be with your people and show cows. And in my school, we didn't really have that many people that showed cows. There's one other girl that comes here too, but so it's just nice to be with people who understand what you're doing, and you get to come and be with all your cows for the week and hang out.
A lot of 4-H participants across the state would certainly agree fairs and field days are their favorite time of year. If you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Benj Deppman, who serves on the board of directors of the Addison County Fair and Field Days, which, as we've said, start tomorrow. Benj, homegrown contest, always a hit everywhere. And I know at Addison County you have no shortage of entries in things like handicrafts, garden products, art and photography. There's quite a bit of talent here in the Green Mountain State.
It really is. We've got an arts and crafts building dedicated to those crafts, and it's full of all kinds of things: cooked goods, baked goods, grown vegetables, everything from beans on a plate to an apple pie. Plus there's sewing, there's rugs that people have made, photographs people have taken, artwork people have made. I mean, it's really quite an exhibit. It's a great testament to the community's creativity.
Well, it's contemporary, but it's also, it's housed in tradition. And our fairs and field days have traditions. You have, this year, you have a Woody Jackson. There's a Vermont tradition. Touch on that quickly, if you don't mind.
Sure. We sell a T-shirt every year, and the T-shirt this year is going to be based upon this print that Woody made. And as you see there, there's the 4-H dairy barn in the background and the Ferris wheel. And I think we're also selling the prints themselves, and they'll be available for sale in the Pocket building, which everybody knows is the biggest building on the grounds that has the exhibitors. So the T-shirts and the prints will be for sale all week, and we thank Woody for all he does for us. He donates all his time and energy to that, and it's really been a great tradition.
And you mentioned Lucien Paquette, again, a longtime extension agent and a Vermont educator in agriculture that people know a lot about. You also have a portion of a building dedicated to Jeff Carter, who recently retired from extension after 40 plus years of agricultural education. Again, those are important traditions and great people too. Really wonderful.
I mean, we owe a lot to Lucien and his legacy. He was one of the original founding members of Field Days, and he's the one who was really spearheading the hand mowing contest, which is still a very popular event to this day.
Benj, this is a good time for me to remind our viewers that the Addison County Fair and Field Days are getting underway tomorrow morning. They run through Saturday night, August 13th. For more information, we're going to direct you to the website, addisoncountyfielddays.com. Again, that's where you can get the daily schedule, the listing of events and activities, literally by the hour from tomorrow through Saturday night. We encourage everyone who can to support our fairs and field days, promoting agricultural literacy and providing insight into Vermont's cultural heritage. Hey, just before we say goodbye, Benj, and I want to thank you, what are you most looking forward to this week?
Well, for a lot of us, I think it's the food, or it's the rides, or it's the shows. But for me, it's family. I get to spend my time with my family, and I get to spend my time with people I only see once a year, and it really is special. And it's in an atmosphere that's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, and a chance to get away from the office, be with family. Enjoy the week, and thank you very much for your time.
Great, thank you, Will.
That is our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Mikell, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit Across the Fence.